Today we're diving into a situation that has been dominating global headlines and is a critical moment in the Middle Eastern geopolitics. It's of course the latest flare-up between Hezbollah and Israel, a conflict that has not only escalated rapidly, but has drawn in neighboring countries and major players in the region. So as today, the 25th of September, and what we're witnessing is a sharp intensification of the conflict. Hezbollah, the Lebanon-based militant group, fired a ballistic missile towards the Tel Aviv area. According to reports, this missile, a Qatar one, was intercepted by Israel David Sling defense system before it could reach its target. This missile attack, as Hezbollah stated, was aimed at a specific target, the Mossad headquarters near Tel Aviv. Hezbollah claims this was in retaliation for what they describe as the assassination of their top commanders and a mysterious explosion involving pagers and walkie-talkies. These events have clearly been boiling under the surface, but today marks one of the most direct and bold attacks we've seen from Hezbollah in recent months. In response, Israel isn't sitting idle. Over the past few days, Israel has been conducting airstrikes on Hezbollah targets across southern and eastern Lebanon. Lebanese media has reported enemy warplanes and drones hitting multiple locations, especially in the Baltic area, which is historically a Hezbollah stronghold. These strikes come as a part of an ongoing Israel military operation against Hezbollah, now entering its third day. Now let's take a step back and examine just how severe this escalation is. On the night of the 24th of September, Israel Defense Forces, the IDF, reported that Hezbollah had launched over 300 missiles at northern Israel. Northern cities like Safed have been under constant threat, with rockets being intercepted in the skies. But it's not just Hezbollah and Israel who are involved in that. There are growing alliances in the region, and that's where things became even more dangerous. Major groups within Iraq's Islamic Resistance, an umbrella group of pro-Iranian fighters, have now vowed to support Hezbollah directly if Israel decides to launch a ground invasion of Lebanon. This group met just 2 days ago in Baghdad, and during this meeting they pledged armed support and to send fighters to Lebanon. It's worth noting that these pro-Iranian groups have already been involved in missile and drone strikes against Israel, launching attacks from Iraqi and Syrian territory. With the promise of more military and logistical backing for Hezbollah, we could be looking at the beginning of a much wider regional conflict. What we're seeing today is just the latest chapter in what's been almost a year of cross-border attack between Hezbollah and Israel. But this particular escalation, the back and forth of rockets, airstrikes, and missile launches, is already being called one of the deadliest periods in this ongoing conflict. And the world is starting to take notice. Iraq's Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani has called for an urgent meeting of Arab leaders at the United Nations General Assembly, directly in response to Israel's intensified strikes on Lebanon. Meanwhile, Grand Ayatollah al-Sistani, the highest seat authority in Iraq, has urged the international community to put an end to what he calls Israel aggression. His words carry a lot of weight in the region, especially among Shiite communities. The question now is, how far will these other players go in the support of Hezbollah? And how will Israel, backed by its allies, will respond? So what does all this mean for the region? Let's explore the potential consequences of this escalating conflict. With Hezbollah firing missiles deep into Israel territory and Israel carrying out airstrikes in Lebanon, we're on the brink of a much larger and more destructive conflict. If Israel launches a ground invasion of Lebanon, as has been speculated, this could trigger a broader regional war involving not just Lebanon, but Iraq, Syria, and potentially Iran. The involvement of Iraq's Islamic resistance groups signals that Hezbollah won't be fighting alone. These groups are well-funded, heavily armed, and highly motivated to confront Israel. And with Iran's backing, this conflict will be very quickly turn into a proxy war between Israel and Iranian forces spread across the region. For Israel, the stakes are equally high. They're facing rocket attacks on multiple fronts, from Gaza in the south to Hezbollah in the north. A sustained conflict will stretch Israel's military capabilities and have a significant implication for their economy and civilian population. And let's not forget the international community. How will global powers like the US, Russia, and European nations respond to the situation? With the world already grappling with other crises, including the war in Ukraine. Will we see more diplomatic efforts, or will we simply see more division and alliance being tested? So, as the sun sets on the 25th of September, we're left with more questions than answers. What do we know is that tensions in the Middle East are once again reaching a boiling point. The actions taken by Hezbollah and Israel today will shape the region for years to come, and the involvement of Iraqi Islamic resistance and other regional actors signals that the conflict could spread even further. But here's what I want you to think about as we close this episode. In a world so deeply interconnected, these events not just impact the countries directly involved. The ripple effects of this conflict will be felt globally, from energy markets to international diplomacy to the very real threat of further destabilization in the region that has already seen so much. Thanks for tuning into this urgent and important episode. If you found today's discussion insightful, please share this episode and hit that subscribe button so you never miss another update. Stay safe and stay informed.